Dope. So welcome to the Nerd Pod. I'm excited to introduce Adam. What is the last name? Visconti.
Visconti. Yes,
Nice.
sir.
Is that Italian or?
Italian.
Okay.
Yep.
So you also are Mexican?
Hispanic, Italian, kind of a mutt, man.
That's
mixed
awesome.
up. Yeah.
But you look white. That's playing the part. That's good.
I know it, man. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks for setting the time up.
Yeah. So outdoorsman, hunter, got some notes here. Fisher, man, rock climber, wrestler, basically doing it all.
Yeah.
Now you're in medical sales and doing some SaaS is what you would call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Try to stay diverse, moved up to Montana about 4 years ago. Just thought it was a good mix for all my hobbies. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's like one of the main, do you like hunting better or fishing better, or is it kind of?
I'd say fishing. Fishing since I was a kid has always been like an outlet for me, just to get away from the stress and be able to see new areas. I've always used it as kind of an escape. So even when I first moved up to Montana, it was like, didn't know a single person, just wanted to explore. And it was like, find a new river, find a lake, go hike to it,
That's
simple.
awesome.
But yeah, to this day, I mean, there's nothing that calms me down or kind of channels my energy like fishing.
Until we get you into golf.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
And then you'll just
That'll
stop
go one way or
fishing.
the other.
Right. I know I've actually been playing golf with a lot of fishermen. I don't know why that sounds so weird to me. But
Fishermen.
Fishermen.
Yeah.
But it's funny because some overcasters will slice the ball a lot. And then when, I don't know what casting that is.
Yeah.
But they're amazing.
Like a roll cast.
Yeah.
So the roll casters are better.
Yep.
Huh? So that's what I got to start doing, fishing.
Yep.
Work
Yeah,
on
if
the
you
roll
can
cast.
if you can work on the roll cast and then
Perfect.
pickleball too.
That's funny, man. That's funny. So pickleball, what is it?
The rollover again.
Okay.
So it's the
Turn of the wrist.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
knowing when to do it, you can actually have the draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I would have never thought about that correlation.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they say with like golfing and baseball players, right?
Mhm.
Like there's something that changes with that swing.
Yeah, because so baseball, my home run was to left field.
Okay.
So my natural was a massive fade.
I
It
like
was a
that.
slice. It was a massive slice.
Yeah.
But then I was told a home run to right field over the second baseman's head will actually do the same thing. We'll actually naturally draw it. So now my miss is a hook. So now
That's
it's
kinda cool.
different. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good
But
connection.
it's,
man.
yeah, no,
I'm not
improved
quite
the
to
game.
the stage of golfing where I know hooking. I know like when I'm hooking and slicing, I don't know what I'm doing to create that.
Right,
you
right,
know?
right.
I'm
Well,
like,
yeah, that's the mental
Yeah.
piece and just practicing it. Just like, in wrestling, it's, just being an athlete, you can kind of control your body better than most. Right?
Totally.
So you have the wrestling background.
Yep.
We met actually. So this is Cold Podcast. I just
I
told
like
you,
it, man.
you're in a podcast tonight. So,
Yeah, I love it.
so
I
we're
love
here.
it.
So don't know much about you. Our correlation was that we have buddies in Colorado,
Yep.
and we're both from Colorado and both moved to Missoula. That being said, the wrestling career and everything, is there any transition from like wrestling to medical sales or like being a salesperson? Is there any correlation that you see, I guess that stands out the most?
Yeah, man. I would say that the biggest one is just work ethic. I mean,
Mm.
anybody that knows anything about wrestlers in general or what a wrestling season takes, it's relentless. It's grueling. Those practices are grueling. Seasons are grueling to stick in with it. And honestly, that's kind of what sales is today. You've got to just be able to get up and keep going and wake up the next day and go back to work. And it's just that mindset, that attitude, the competitiveness. You and I have been talking about that a little bit, super competitive. I think that plays into sales. Mine's like an internal competitiveness. I know when I haven't done enough throughout the day, I can feel it internally.
Right.
Like it's like there, it'll burn. And then I'm like, all right, what are we doing tomorrow to change that?
Mhm.
I'd say that sets me apart, from what I've done in sales and any accolades that I've been able to kind of pick up the last few years. That's what I would attribute to.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any like, because I'm kind of the same way, I just compete against myself really,
Yeah.
but think the satisfying piece is missing most of the time, where it's like I never feel satisfied. I just want more and more and more. And there's
Totally keep you hungry.
right. Is there any tricks that to actually like fill the
satisfaction?
Cup? Yeah,
man, that's tough.
That's a loaded question.
Yeah, that's tough. For me, I've got to be able to shut off. I will run and run and run until I physically like force myself to shut off and enjoy something for a moment. I think it's like finding that time to reflect a little bit, and you don't want to get complacent doing that, right? But for me, it's like I will force myself to take 2 trips a year. It doesn't matter. And usually when I take a trip, it takes me 2 or 3 days to get out of that work mindset,
Right.
But having that time to like switch off of sales or what I'm doing next and kind of reflect on what I've been able to accomplish in the last quarter, or, you know what I'm saying, 6 months, whatever that might be. Sometimes I feel like I get that satisfaction there. Again, but then I get uneasy because I'm like, I don't want to get stuck there. I've got a sign in my house, and it's like 2 things define you: your mindset when you have nothing, and your attitude when you have everything.
I love that.
And it's just simple. It's like you don't ever want to get too satisfied, right?
Right.
So yeah,
that's interesting. Definitely, you're kind of like the extreme level of like, I ran a half marathon and I was like super pumped about it, but you're doing Ironmans, you're doing
I'm doing slow
miles.
Ironmans.
I'm
doing
pretty wild. It's still an Ironman. You still got a big chain, right, from it?
Yeah.
You completed it.
Exactly.
That's
it's hanging on the wall.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But yeah, man, no, it's I don't know. I think you got to have time to reflect and give yourself some satisfaction for sure. I think that's important. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I'm working on the boundary, so I'll use that advice to help me kind of create that boundary. It is hard, definitely with 4 kids too.
I'm sure.
It's just always it's like finding peace in the chaos is kind of my goal day to day, is just
Totally.
how do I find some, peaceful moment from this?
Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
I have some questions written down here.
Perfect.
So what parallels do you see between the focus and discipline required for like rock climbing or like the Ironmans or hunting, and succeeding in, competitive sales environment?
Yeah, man. So I'll be transparent. The rock climbing stuff, I've gotten into it a little bit in college. I'm not consistent at it. But like correlating that to training, it's repetition. And, having a plan, I think, is important. Like with anything in sales, you got to have a plan. You got to have structure. You can have all the momentum and motivation in the world, but if you're not putting that into a plan and having a process, it's going to kind of get spurred up, and wasted. And I think that's the same thing when I'm training for one of those races or events. Like when I first started running, you couldn't get me to do more than a mile. And it was like to be able to run a marathon 26.2 and not stop, right? You got to have a plan to get there. So being able to like write that plan out and then commit to it, and I think I always look at everything like a sales process. I'm like, this is my process. This is my plan. Stick to it. Get up in the morning and do what you're going to do. Accountability, I would say, is the biggest thing there. Yeah.
It's awesome. Where do you find the knowledge to like figure out that plan?
Yeah. So on the running side, man, or the, athletic side, training and stuff, I look for people that have done it.
Oh, nice.
I actually had a dude that I'd followed for a while, kind of a funny character, on Instagram. He'd done all these like long runs, and I just liked his attitude, liked his mindset, so I reached out to him and kind of got like a makeshift plan in place, and then just do research, man.
Damn, so you just go to the best.
Yeah, I guess I used the cheat code there. But like Google plans and find something that works for you. I think it's important to find something that works for you personally too. Everybody's brains work differently. Everybody's bodies work differently. So whether we're talking about, athletics or training for a race or a sales process, like you got to find something that's going to work for you and, you could stay consistent at.
Yeah. That's a good answer. I guess that being said, can you share a memorable like outdoor adventure or moment that taught you a valuable like life or business lesson?
Yeah. Let me think
Any
here.
juicy details?
That's a good one, man. That's a good one. Yeah. Went to Kodiak. I've been in Kodiak Island, Alaska, for hunting and fishing the past 2 years. 3 years, excuse me. So the first year we went out, we did a December trip. So middle of the winter, Don't know if you've ever been to Alaska.
No, I want to.
You know, in the winter, it's brutal. I mean, we think Montana's bad, and it's like you
Damn.
get sleet and snow, wind, ice. I mean, and you're right off the ocean on Kodiak Island. So you're kind of getting a mix of these storms coming in. One of the toughest guys that I've met since I've lived in Montana, his name's James White Scarver. I coach with him down in Stevensville, but he runs a guiding business. He's been outfitting for 25 years or something like that. I'm hunting with him, and it wasn't a guided hunt. You know, it's his week off where he gets to enjoy himself and go hunt too. But we were kind of hunting together, and woke up in the morning. We were staying on a boat out in the bay, and then they would shuttle you in to do your hunt for the day. And we were getting shuttled in, and it was like sleet, rain, kind of some mixture of snow, you know, not a very nice morning. Almost couldn't get us in because of how nasty the waters were. Got us to shore. We kind of started hiking. And again, this is like a tough dude. Like I was kind of nervous about hunting with him. I think I know a lot about hunting, and then you get around him and he's like dialed in. And we start hiking, and I'm a little bit bigger than he is, you know, and I run hot. So the second I started hiking, I started warming up and kind of sweating a little bit, you know. We got cruising, and we got to the top of this first peak, and I was feeling all right. And I looked at him, and he was like white, like pitch white, blue lips, not doing all right. I grabbed his pack, and it was just frozen solid. So it had gone from like kind of this wishy-washy storm, a lot of moisture, to like freeze while we had been hiking. So we got to the top of this peak, and it was like bag, jacket, everything frozen, you know. Shit. What it came down to is we started tearing through our stuff to figure out like, okay, well, if they can't come get us, we're going to have to kind of, you know, make a little shelter, warm up a little bit. I could tell he wasn't in a good spot, which made me nervous just because as far as like the backwoods go, he's got so much more experience than I do. And we started digging through our packs, and I was like, man, we got to get you warmed up and stuff. And I was so much less prepared than he was, you know, like started digging through, and I think it was just like a wake up call. It's like, no matter what you're doing, you got to come in prepared. You got to know what your plan is. If this happens, what your plan is. If that happens, you know, you never know what's going to happen. There's so many variables, you know.
Damn.
Luckily, you know, he's kind of the man and pulled us out of that. We were able to get a little shelter built, get some fire, but they couldn't pick us up for like 14 hours, man.
Oh, shit.
So we got stuck out there. Basically had to rough it for a night. Yeah.
Damn. That's a great example.
Yeah, I know. Successful hunt. Next day it cleared up, and we both felled tags, and yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you guys recovered.
We recovered.
That's so cool. That is quite the metaphor, actually. Quite
a little bit of a rant there.
No, that's awesome. That's what this is for. The story of, you know, like the Montana,
yeah,
you know, the Montana problems, right? It's Alaska, Montana.
One and the same, honestly.
Yeah, right. That's crazy though. So then I've always thought of that because I've, you know, dabbled in hunting since I've been out here.
Yeah.
Laughed at how much shit I packed the first time. My pack was like 90 pounds.
Was it?
Yeah, just like so heavy.
So how do you balance that medium, being prepared but not too prepared, you know?
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's like, damn, yeah, what do you bring? And because you have to kind of go through it, right? Same with sales too. I think that's kind of like the good metaphor here is like, you got to go through it. You got to make the mistakes. You got to, you know, feel it for yourself and genuinely feel it. Like even, you know, the religious aspect of things too, you have to genuinely feel things to, you know, actually know what to do or like how to actually fix it. So we can read, you know, 1 billion books from Alex Hormozy, but it doesn't make you a good salesman.
I like that a lot. That actually makes sense.
Calls. Yeah.
Yeah. Until you've lived it and been through it and know how to clean up the process. Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense.
Yeah. I guess, yeah. Is there any, we don't have too much time, but is there any like sales advice that you could give even myself or, you know, once you have that lead, like how to actually build that? It seems like the podcast kind of create this, how to create relationships like in sales and like business.
Yeah.
So is there any advice of?
Yeah, that specifically, I'd say, you know, on like just a personal sales growth side, just staying proactive, you know, is like my biggest thing. And I've had times in my sales career where I found myself getting a little bit complacent, and I think I do a good job snapping out of that. Like being proactive, not just going through the motions and, you know, looking for outside people that can give you advice even, you know, like there are so many resources that we have access to today. And it's like you as a salesman or as a business owner are in charge of like finding those and sorting through them, right? That's part of like figuring out where to get your info from and figuring out where you can find growth from. You know, there's a lot of intelligent people. There's a lot of intelligent systems out there. Like, what can I find that's going to help my business, help my process?
That's awesome.
I might have you re-ask kind of the last piece that you said.
No, actually, that answer were basically, put yourself into positions to learn and listen. I think is the biggest piece. Is actually listening. Me having ADD, I tend to like overtalk, overshare. Right. I do this so that I can like actually listen, and
I like that.
Genuinely, I actually look. I think I'm my number one viewership of this.
I love
just,
that.
Like rewatch it, and I
man.
just actually, like autistic brain. I think just like calculate. If that's worked for that person, it's worked for that person.
Yeah.
Start seeing repetition or like patterns.
Totally.
And obviously that's helped me a lot in business, and hopefully someone else out there as well.
Absolutely, man.
So cool. And you're starting your life with a new house and girlfriend and everything. So
Yes,
I'm super excited to see that blossom and crushing in medical sales and SaaS sales and everything. So
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
it's been great to get connected. And honestly, we waited too long to do it. But
right.
You know what I'm saying? Better late than never. I'll take it.
You can follow Adam at
Visconti.
Oh, post it somewhere.
_
42. Is that your number?
Yeah,
nice. 42.
I think I've had that same handle for a long time.
Did you play like football or just?
I
wrestle?
did. Yeah, okay. I played ball. I kind of got soft recruited. I wasn't a big kid in high school. I didn't have the size. No,
just grew.
I grew like in between. I actually got recruited to Mesa to wrestle 145. And then I walked in the room at like 195, 200. And so I grew like that year in between high school and college. And I think they realized they were stuck with me. I wasn't going to make the weight class, but you're stuck with me for at least a year. So
late bloomer.
Yeah, I know. My whole family's been like that. It's weird. My dad told me that he was like 5'2", 5'3" until he got into college, and I grew in college, which is strange. But
damn.
Yeah, man.
So you're saying there's still a chance for me?
There's a big chance. Big chance.
Get my growth spurt.
Eat your Wheaties. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Long way, but well, cool. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for doing the podcast.
Absolutely, man. That was fun.
We'll keep touch.
Sounds good, dude.
See you.
I appreciate it.